approximately 6:42 p.m. This meeting is open to the public, and if anyone wish to speak on an agenda item, please complete the public comment card and give it to the Planning and Zoning Board staff prior to the board discussion and before the public comment section is announced. In no event will anyone be allowed to submit a comment card to speak on agenda item after the action item has been read or considered. The time allotted for each member of the public to comment on each item is 3 minutes. Please be reminded that the Planning and Zoning Board Committee is committed to civility and decorum by members of the public who attend this meeting. We're going to start the meeting off with a moment of silence. And the board will lead with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Board Member Lucy Joseph.
Present.
Board Member James Gallen.
here.
Board Member Anthony Brown.
Present.
Board Member Margaret Shepherd.
Here.
Board Member Renee Burgess. Board Member Frank Fernandez.
Present.
Chairman William Wiley.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Do you have an acknowledgement of any board member absentee notifications?
Sir, I don't have that with me at the moment. I wasn't informed of Ms. Burgess' absent tonight.
Okay. Any acknowledgement of any board member vacant positions?
Yes, sir. Alternate members, District 2 vacant. Alternate member, District 4 is vacant. Regular member, District 5 vacant.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
As reported at a previous Planning and Zoning Board meeting, the City Council has suspended temporarily the reappointments of all citizen advisory boards while they undertake some research. There has been progress, and we expect in the next month that there will be a final determination so that we can handle the reappointments of those of you on the board whose terms are expired and appointments to those vacant positions that were just mentioned. But this is just an update as to what's transpiring with City Council.
Thank you.
Are they reviewing our compensation packages? That's why it's taking so long.
I don't have information on that one, Mr. Chair.
I second that. All right, on to number 3, additions. Are there any additions or any deletions to the agenda?
None from staff, Mr. Chair.
All right, on to number 4. Do you have any disclosures by any board members? And on to the adoption of the agenda, please.
So move.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Mr. Chairman, are you ready for the vote?
Yes.
Board Member Lucy Joseph. Yes. James Gallen.
Yes.
Member Anthony Brown.
Yes.
Member Margaret Shepherd.
Yes.
Member Frank Fernandez.
Yes.
Chairperson Wiley.
Yes.
The vote is unanimous.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, before we get into the substantive items for the evening, I just wanted to point out that we have a vacant seat for District 5, so therefore alternate Joseph will be a voting member this evening. And in addition to that, due to Ms. Burgess's absence, Mr. Brown, who's the alternate for her district, District 1 will be a voting member. And those are your alternates that are voting this evening. So
Thank you.
Obviously, Mr. Gallen can continue to participate and ask questions as we always do.
Thank you. On to number 5, approval of minutes.
Motion to accept the board meeting minutes of August 14th, 2025 and August 28th, 2025.
So move. Mr. Chair, that motion has been properly moved in second. Are you ready for the vote?
Second. Who's second?
Um,
Yes.
Board Member Lucy Joseph? Yes. James Gallen? Sorry. Anthony Brown?
Yes.
Board Member Margaret Shepherd?
Yes.
Board Member Frank Fernandez?
Yes.
Board Member Wiley?
Yes.
That motion carried. That motion passed unanimously.
Thank you. On to number 6 for unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business?
None from staff, Mr. Chair.
All right, on to new business.
Sure. Can we have Ms. Brown read 7A into the record, please?
Thank you, sir. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Revere Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, amending City Code of Ordinance, Chapter 31, ZA 240008 on behalf of the Revere Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, RBCRA, applicant for approval of a text amendment application to allow properties within the downtown general DG zoning district to develop a maximum height of 4 stories when the project contains a mixed-use component.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, Kurt Thompson, Principal Planner for the City of Rivera Beach. I want to take you through, there are this case involves 3 different items. The first one is an ordinance to abandon a portion of the existing 15-foot alley that bisects the property. I have passed out to you all an amendment on that abandonment, which I'll go over with you as I go through the presentation. Okay, it'll be much clearer when we get there. Secondly, an ordinance requesting a zoning text change amendment to allow properties within the downtown general zoning district to develop a maximum height of 4 stories when a project contains a mixed-use component. Currently, right now in the code, it is 3 stories, and that also I'll show you in the PowerPoint presentation. Number 3 and last is a resolution approving a site plan for mixed-use development consisting of 45 residential units. 27 of those will be marked as affordable. In addition, 3,224 square feet of retail office space. And also, the applicant is requesting an administrative waiver to reduce the number of required parking spaces as allowed in the zoning code section 31-539B3 on the approximate 1.34 acres. What you have here now is a project location map. It is indicated by the big red dot there of the subject property. Currently, as I said, the site is vacant. The 1.34 acre site is currently zoned DG or general downtown general and has a downtown mixed use future land use designation or DMU. The applicant is seeking to maximize the density on the site to support the development of workforce housing. Here is the site plan as a subject site. You may remember, I think, this is all the board members, except maybe from Ms. Jacobs. Phase 1 was the Villa Lawrence Phase 1 project of approximately 36 units. I don't have the marker pointer here, but I'm going to make a quick run over here to show you. The Phase 1 project was right in here, the 36 townhome units. Mr. Mercius, the CRA director, is also in the audience, and there's also the applicant has 2GHO, which is one of the planning consultants in the county that's been around a while, and they have representation. Also, Mr. Rick Gonzalez, I've known him a while too. He's the architect for the subject property. So this is phase 1. This is phase 2 now here. What you have here is 6 units here, another 6 townhouse units here is for 12. There's a parking area here, and above that, floors 2 through 4, you have units here. numbering about 15 for a total of 27. And then you have another 18 units here above the floors 2, 3, and 4, above the retail office. So what you have here now is retail office on the first floor, residence units on floors 2 through 4, parking here, and then above that on floors 2 through 4, residential units here, and then 6 townhomes here and 6 here for a total of 45. Okay, now here's the fun part. Here comes the fun part. You all have been passed out. Oh, by the way, we have a new planner here. It was passed out by Miss Gabriela Suarez. She,
Welcome, Ms. Suarez.
and believe you me, she is definitely welcome. She's going to help us all out, particularly me. So this is the revision. If all of you will look at the document that was passed out, please go to page 2 of that. You will see that there are 2 shaded areas. The first shaded area at the top right-hand corner is is the abandonment, the first part of the abandonment. That represents 3,066 square feet. And then at the bottom left there is the alleyway portion, which is 15 feet wide by 100 feet. And that is 1,500 square feet for a total of 4,566 square feet. We used an earlier version in the staff report, which is inaccurate, and I got the updated version, and I wanted to make sure that the board have the most recent updated version for the abandonment, to make that clear. In addition, Miss Emily O'Mahony will be making a presentation for the CRA, of which she'll be showing you some architectural areas in color, and talk about this abandonment as well. This is another portion of that presentation of the abandonment. I want to make you aware of the shaded area in green. That represents the area, the land area for the project itself. I repeat, that's the land area for the entire project, shaded in green, okay? And then the yellow area, you see the areas involving the abandonment. We thought that that would be a good way for you to see how the shaded area being the project area, and the area in yellow is the abandonment area. Okay, and then just to the south of that is the phase 1 that you all approved. I think you all, except from, I don't think Ms. Joseph was on the board at the time, but I think you all may remember that. Just wanted to refresh your memory. Now, here is the zoning code text change. You will see here at the very top table, where you have what is in the code right now that shows 3 stories. At the bottom there, maximum height. Okay. The bottom table shows what's being proposed, particularly their maximum height with the asterisk 4 stories when a part of a mixed-use development and approved by the CRA board and city council. Okay. On the right of that, you see the maximum height of 3 feet, how it looks right now in the zoning code. What you will see in the, if you make or recommend approval of this text change and then be subsequently approved by the city council, will be an additional floor could be added or used. And the reason is that if you notice, the project itself goes up to 4 stories throughout the entire presentation. And if this makes sense, pardon me, it's a little warm in here today, it will make pretty much sense in terms of this project to have that 4th floor. And so they're asking for that text amendment. You okay, Ms. Shepherd? Okay. So Request from the applicant plans to construct a mixed-use project consisting of 45 residential units. 27 will be marked as affordable and plus or minus 3,224 square feet of retail office space on approximately 1.36 acre site. The site is currently vacant. You have the three parcel numbers here, ID PCNs. The lot size, we say plus or minus 1.36. The zoning district is downtown general. The future land use is that's incorrect. The land use is downtown mixed use. Okay, that first part is incorrect. It is already downtown mixed use. Okay, I want to make that clear. Okay, so here's one of the renderings. Phase 2, which on the mixed use with view from Avenue E. There has been extensive review by staff and this proposed zoning text amendment, abandonment, and site plan. The proposed site plan has been found to be consistent with the standards of the land development regulations or the zoning code and is now ready for the board's consideration. There's another rendering. As you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, you have phase 2 phase 1 combined with phase 2. Again, to show you real quickly, whereas 1 and 2, phase 1 is right here. Okay, phase 2 starts here. Okay. Now, the next one is phase 2 rendering here that you see here on the overhead. So staff's recommendation is the zoning code text amendment. We recommend that you approve the request to allow properties within the downtown general zoning district to develop to a maximum height of 4 stories when the project contains a mixed-use component. That caveat is important, when it contains a mixed-use component, okay? Secondly, staff recommend that you approve this request of the proposed abandonment of the 15-foot alley with a plus or minus 4,566 square feet, has your handouts indicate, and as I had initially showed to you earlier in this presentation. And then lastly, site plan approval for the development of 45 residential units, 27 of which will be marketed as affordable, and 3,224 square feet of retail office space on approximately 1.36 acres, subject to the staff's report's conditions of approval to the Riviera Beach City Council. And here are the list of conditions of approval. Essentially, number 1 talks about a 2-year landscape bond. Number 2 talks about construction and landscape improvements. Number 3, the council authorized the staff to make any changes of no more than 15%. Number 4 talks about the development must receive a CO for all the buildings within 5 years. Number 5 is all future advertisement must state the development is located within the city of Riviera Beach. Number 6 is once approved, if this were the resolution, shall supersede any previous site plan approval. Number 7 talks about the civic open space. Number 8 talks about plans for the public palm trans shelter and additional conditions that follow there. Number 9 talks about the Art in Public Places program and requirements for that. You'll be seeing this type of condition and other projects, as you can imagine. And then number 10 is one that we added that was not in the staff report, but after going through and making sure we dotted all I's and crossed all the T's, we're issuing a number 10, which says prior to issuance of building permit, the applicant shall submit and obtain approval of a replat for the subject property. Now, as you probably noticed, board members, you no longer, the state law no longer requires a legislative approval for replats. They're all going to be done administratively per state law that was passed this most last legislative process. So now all plat reviews are done administratively now. Okay. And with that, that will concludes the staff presentation. Ms. Emily O'Mahony is here to take up the mantle. Mr. Mercy is the CRA director, is also here in case it's needed. And I ask that you hold all your questions until such time that the applicant finishes their presentation. And then at that point, we'll be able to answer some questions. The intent here is to hopefully we'll have, through the presentations, we'll have answered all your questions. Yes.
Yeah, I've got a question for the city before the presentation. Once you accept the text amendment on the DG, it covers the entire DG section, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we're approving the DG here. It's a vacant lot. We're not approving it. We're considering the approval of a DG and an empty lot, vacant property, 11th to 13th Street. But a four-story building might not fit right in any other section within a DG. So why can't we add language in there that although that we have the text, if the text amendment is approved, that the city council has a right to refuse the building of property on a DG with the text amendment. In other words, it gives the city council a right out. Not that we have a developer coming in and saying, wait a minute, you have a text amendment here that was approved, and we're going to build according to that text amendment, the 4 stories.
Right.
So, Mr. Sermons, I would highly encourage adding language that the city council will still have the right of refusal of development, even though a text amendment is approved within the DG.
If I may say real quickly, then I'll let Mr. Sermon speak.
Yes, sir.
As you recall in my presentation, it says the 4-story only if it is a mixed-use development.
Right, but you could do a mixed-use development in another DG area that would not fit into that area. That's my point.
Okay.
So it might be great for this area within the DG, but don't forget, once you pass a text amendment for an entire zoning area, it encompasses that entire DG within the city. So what I'm saying is, I want to make sure that the city council has a right of refusal, even if we approve this text amendment on a project that might not fit. This fits great there, but imagine building another DG area where you have a single family home right behind it, or a block away.
I'll let Mr. Sermons give a commentary, then I can give. I'll follow back up.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
That is correct. This text amendment would apply citywide to any properties that are currently or in the future zoned as downtown general. The purpose of us bringing this to this board is for this type of deliberation. If there's concern or unreadiness on the text language as is, it's your purview to send recommendations to city council. From my perspective, I would shy away from redesigning projects in front of city council. It can create confusion and issues with staff, with things coming back and going back and forth between the staff desk and city council if that determination is made there. So maybe an edit to the language that restricts the area or provides different flexibility or geographic restrictions as to where this 4-story can take place would be a type of recommendation that you could make to council as to how this could be amended.
Well, if you're thinking that adding language that will provide the city council authority to nix a project within a DG zone, even though we approve the text amendment, and they might approve it, then I would strongly urge, depending on where the board approves, to let's restrict where we're going to be building it. So if we're going to allow this building of 4 stories, we should have no concerns over that. But then think again of those that are living in the other areas near a DG, and you stick a 4-story mixed-use property right next to their house or right near it.
So, there is a text amendment that we're also considering for a different project that restricts the additional height allowance for properties that are not on Broadway. There are circumstances when you could say, as long as it's not adjacent to single-family homes, you could consider special exceptions for the additional floor as opposed to making it by right. But there are other options where we can make it more restrictive and not, a by right on any property zoned as that. And additionally, if there's considerable unreadiness, staff can take back your feedback and workshop this and bring it at a subsequent planning and zoning board meeting as well. So those are some options, but again, we're here to take in any on the floor amendments you may have, or if, again, you want to defer this until staff has done more research and work with the applicant, we could do that as well.
Or what we can consider as a board after the fact. Let's hear the presentation, but that was my main concern. Thank you.
Takes me a minute. Good evening. Good evening, board. I'm Emily O'Mahony with 2GHO Landscape Architects and Planners. I have my partner, George Gentile, long time raised in Riviera Beach, went to school here, and Rick Gonzalez, the architect that is bringing life to this district as far as that's my personal opinion. So we're pleased to bring this before you and maybe give you a better sense of the project and what we're doing. And thank you, Kurt, for your introduction. I'm not going to go over a whole lot of this. Actually, replat will have to be done, but that is not coming before you. We'll start out with the site plan and address the alley abandonment and text amendment. Location map, we've already discussed where it is. Phase 1 and Phase 2 are right by each other, and this gives a strong sense of where it is between Avenue E and Wright Street and West 11th and up to 13th. Kurt talked about this. This has been acquired by the CRA and the Riviera Beach Community Development Corporation. The site is totally vacant at this time. This is all part of really looking at Avenue E as creating the vitality in the center of this area in the downtown. This is an illustrative site plan that shows both phases. Way up at the north, with the arrow, it points to the pavilion and a place for the art installation. The townhouses for Phase 1 and Phase 2, actually the garages face each other. So their front doors, the front doors of Phase 1 face down to 11th Street, and the front doors to Phase 2 face up towards that parking lot and into the project. So it becomes an alleyway in between the two where people go use their garages. All those townhouses have garages. And the townhouse is a duplication of Phase 1. So those two look alike, they're mirrored from each other. So what's important to know and in this is you've got the townhouses down below. I have 3s and 2s on. The 3 are 3-story. Then you have 2, 2, 2, 2, and you go and mirror it 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. So the end parts of this building are taller than the center parts, and that exactly reflects the Phase 1. Then the 2 buildings going up East Street are the 4-story buildings that we were talking about. The first one to the south has parking underneath. And then the one on the north has the commercial office and retail space. And above that on both buildings are flats, are units. You have 15 units or 5 on the floor for the south one, and you have 18 total units on the north one, which is 6 units per floor. And it's interesting to note that if there are 27 affordable units, then there's 18 that are market. And all of these units are for sale. That is how they're going to be brought forward. They are not rental properties. So we're really looking for buy-in and ownership to really make this a success, and really the start of changes going on. Kurt showed you some of these pictures. The pink building on the far left is phase 1. The yellow is phase 2. Those are both the townhouses. So we're looking north on this. And then you can see the 4-story buildings. This is looking along Avenue E. And we have the gables, interesting facades and balconettes. It brings a life and a character to this area that reminds me of the vitality that Riviera Beach established on. This will continue that. These are straight elevations showing some of the color changes. This is the 4-story buildings. So the one side on the upper one is the back. So we're in the parking lot or that area looking at the building. And the one on the bottom is from the street. So on the bottom with the street, the retail is on the right, and on the left is the parking, and you can see they're treated sort of the same, so it doesn't look like a parking lot. And these are the end views, with the end units having a little bit bigger room, number of bedrooms, bigger floor plan. So this is the 4-story, so 3 levels of those units. And you have the yellows are 1 bedroom, the greens are 2 bedroom, and the lavender pinkish color are 3 bedrooms. Now these are the townhouses. The yellow ones are the end ones. They are at the corner of the streets. So those are the 3-story, and then the others are the 2-story in between. And you can see the garages on the garage side, and then their front doors on the other side. Very similar to what's going to be built already. And these are the different units. So the 2 stories are down on the bottom right, and the 3 stories are up above. The 2-story has 1-car garage, and the 3-story has 2-car garage. And this is a look at the townhouses when you are over on Wright Street, looking at the fronts of them. And this is once again from E Street looking north, and E Street looking sort of southwest. So you're up at the northern end of the project in this. So the text amendment is, which I gather we'll have discussion about. It's for you to discuss, but it's basically a condition that says, you know, the maximum height is still 3 stories, and it can go to 4 stories when part of a mixed-use development and approved by the CRA board and the city council. So that's how it's phrased now. We look at the text amendment as promoting urban infill mixed-use projects, making it viable to take the ground floor and do something that is vibrant and brings the community a place to go that they can walk to and take care of shopping and their office space within the community. And it is very consistent with the 13th Street vision through the CRA and the city's comp plan. So, and it also looks at a traditional, this is a transition between the single family houses. We've got townhouses and we have flats. We look at this as the text amendment allows this to be a viable project. It enhances the area's identity. Um, the potential to reduce automotive dependency. It creates a sense of community, a sense of place. It encourages economic investment and reinvestment. We're bringing a liveliness that hopefully the rest of the vacant properties will start to redevelop because of this. So we're looking at job creations. When you infill, it's much better on your infrastructure rather than building out in the suburbs. And where you can save environmentally sensitive lands when you're not building on them. And it increases the tax base, something we all love. So we had hoped to abandon the right of way like the plan up here. We thought, oh, we're doing it once, let's take care of it. You know, the alleyway hasn't been used at all, but we had resistance from the property owner that abuts this. So we went back and we did just what is necessary to make this project work. So we changed a few things. And then, as you can see, and Kurt showed you this is just the green area is how we fit into this. So you can see we only have taken what is needed to make this work. So the alley remains for the property owner that surrounds this alleyway as it is today. So why an abandonment? First of all, phase 1 was abandoned too, in between the two buildings. So this continues that. It allows the continuity of that building. It expands, it provides for the mixed use to happen. And it was untaken care of by the city. It didn't need to be an expense. It doesn't serve any purpose the way when 13th Street got redeveloped and things changed. It wasn't needed. And for this, the applicant will be giving money. It's called the privilege fee for the abandoned property. So once again, the city is aided by that.
Excuse me, how much is the fee that the city will be giving?
I think if I remember correctly, it's about 6,000 something for one and probably for both of them, somewhere around that. So we feel that this is consistent with the Riviera Beach codes, the comp plan to have the mixed use residential. It is increasing housing stock, very important. It actually is less intense use than what is permitted and makes for a harmonious transition. The FAR is allowed to be 2 on this and we provide 1.07. So that's great. It's half the density that is allowed. It makes the CRA master plan, attracting new residents, encourages future developer investment, which is very good, aids in revitalization, adds the multifamily residential within the Avenue E. So we're providing a different housing type, actually 2 different housing types in this, by the flats and by townhouses. And it introduces the office retail. It helps with pedestrian mobility. We're putting sidewalks, we're giving people places to go, and it sets the precedent. And I think it's a beautiful precedent. I am not the architect, so I can say that, okay? And we meet the zoning code. We have, as I mentioned, 2 different housing types, walkable safe routes. It's a viable addition to the community. And really the key point that is going to start the rest of this. And it's going to beautify overall benefits. And we're using all the existing utility resources, the infrastructure, which is wonderful. So final points, it's infill development that meets the idea of the city's comprehensive plan, the CRA master plan, and the city's zoning code. It has been before the CRA board and has received positive feedback. I caveat that may have been through phase 1, and I'm not sure, I can't, that phase 2 actually went to a CRA meeting. I couldn't find that out beforehand. Received staff recommendation for approval. And that concludes our presentation, and we look forward to hearing your comments.
Thank you. All right, do we have anyone else making a presentation? All right, do we have any comment cards on this?
I have none. I received none.
I would like to, as I was told that the CRA director, the new CRA director, sir, would you like to come up and introduce yourself and kind of give a introduction so everyone know who you are? And sort of give us a little brief description of the subject of how you feel about this project.
Good evening, Jadel Merzius, the Executive Director of the Riviera Beach CRA. This project is more in line with the master plan that we have within our CRA. It's also a product of the Community Development Corporation, the CDC, Riviera Beach CDC as well. This plan, when we look at this plan, we're looking at a vibrant space, as the presentation stated. And it's also an interjection, I believe, a break within what we have now. When we talk about affordable housing, when we talk about mixed use development space, when we talk about I'd say when it talks about aesthetics for the most part, upon coming here, that space, if you didn't know anything about that space, and if you're looking to invest, if you're looking at the quality of life of Riviera Beach, wasn't much to the imagination. Just this presentation alone, the vibrant colors, the aesthetics, the attractions that you see, it welcomes just exactly what we're looking for in the CRA. And that is the eradication of slum and blight, more or less the welcoming atmosphere, the opportunity for individuals to come and congregate and to live. It represents creative placemaking. These are all factors within the CRA that we are looking to implement, not only in this project, but in future projects as well.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations.
And thank you. I appreciate you.
Start off with some questions from the board then. We'll start, as we always do, with our founding member, Mrs. Shepherd.
Thank you. Y'all, please forgive me. I'm getting over the flu. I think this is a very good project. I love the vibrant colors. I love where it's going to be. That land has been vacant for many, 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 many years. I do want to know, did you do the door knockers? I think I kind of seen it in the book where you did, I assume, talk to the neighbors. And I'm quite concerned, just a concern, because we have the Alpha Group building, we have the boys and girls there, and now we have this project. So I assume it's going to be a very, very busy piece of land. And so I don't hesitate, but I just want to make sure as I listen to you, you talked about jobs. How are you going to filter this out? Are you going to have job fairs? Are you going, how are you going to precipitate? Because I think the residents of Riviera Beach should have a shot at this particular project as well as the Alpha. So I don't know.
Amy Shepherd.
Hi.
So,
Introduce yourself, sir.
oh, I'm sorry.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Mr. Wiley Chairperson, Ezra Sappho, owner of All Site Construction. We are the local general contractor building this project. Here I have my operations guy, Damaris. He's the guy on the ground making it happen right now. During our estimating process, we did have a number of outreach meetings. We invited and hired, what are we, 40%? 40% at this point, local utilization. Even if you go out there on the fence now, you see we have allowed one of our plumbers who's locally here post his sign so he can get more business. We're local. The electrician's local. It goes on. I am local, so I believe in it. And far as hiring, you know, this phase and any other phase, we're going to make that a priority.
So you've already started hiring. Is that what, I see the sign is up. So you already have started hiring. Is that what you're saying?
We've already hired past tense,
Already hired.
and we're still we're 80% bought out, and our intent is to increase that number even more.
So when will this, well, I see the tent there and I think I see equipment coming and going. So are you starting on this project already?
Yeah, we have. Is there any way to show the video? Can you email it to yourself and then show it to yourself for your setup here? Are you able to email it to her and she can show what we've done today and you can see it?
Just for clarification. This construction has started on phase 1, which is approved. So, and this is an excellent example of the job creation. But I think this project phase 2 has an even higher job opportunity because we are doing commercial and office space on the ground floor that allows someone to actually have their office and live and work right near home. So they can hire their, you know, if it's a business owner, hire their secretary, they can walk home, they can do that. So this, because it's mixed use, has a higher, it's not just during construction, it's after construction. So
Well, Ezra, I was over there. Can I say one more thing to Ezra? I was over there and I did see the work, and well, I'm not impressed about too many things, but I was impressed with seeing the work being done, and I'm very impressed that it's going to be over in that area. I just want to make sure that we look out for our own to come to work. And I feel comfortable with you doing it. I really feel comfortable. I followed your track record from the day you started. So I'm comfortable with you, and I'm comfortable and hoping that this project will bring on local people because they do need jobs in this community. Number 2, the parking. I don't think I heard anybody talk about parking. I know. I think I read it somewhere.
Before we go to parking, phase 2 is 4 times the size of phase 1. So that'll give you an idea of how many jobs phase 2 will create once we start building. I'll let Emily talk to you about the parking.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Can
sorry,
you come up? Can you identify yourself?
I forgot to introduce myself.
Yes.
I am Rick Gonzalez, the architect for the project.
Nice,
Okay.
nice, beautiful project.
And it's Emily back again. For the parking, it meets code with the there's a certain part of the code that allows for reduced parking for affordable housing. So straight code says 2 per unit. This allows it to go to 1, which is all permissible, and we're taking advantage of that. We have 2 parking spaces over the required when using that. So we meet parking. Did I confuse you?
I'm kind of confused with that particular project. You're saying 1 per household?
Just the 27 affordable housing units are allowed by code to park 1 car per unit.
And this is 3 and 4 bedroom?
No, there's 2 and 1 bedroom that would
2 and
probably
1.
be applying to all of this.
Okay, I get it. I know I read it somewhere. I wasn't quite clear. How many, handicap spaces?
Whatever the code requires, the code is based upon the total number of parking spaces provided.
That is?
I'm going to get onto my, yeah, so I will.
Mr. Gentile, maybe you can answer that. How many, handicap spaces?
We're gonna look on the site plan, Ms. Shepherd, because we don't have control on that then, and nor does the city. The federal government requires so many spaces for parking and accessibility, so we're gonna get that number right now.
So it is 2 spaces required.
You have to take the mic. You have to
Yep.
take the mic so it can be recorded.
There's 2 spaces, 2 handicap spaces required,
Just 2?
yes, and we have 2 in there. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. My name is George Gentile. I'm with her. I'm the G of 2GHO. Okay.
And I'm the O. It's interesting to note that 17 bicycle parking spaces are required, and we have provided that. So it's really a promotion in this area of multimodal, and, your feet, your bicycle, trying to put emphasis there.
So also, ma'am, just a question just to piggyback off what she stated. You stated that the southeast building, part 2, that was going to have the one that was going to have, I guess, the first floor or the first and second floor parking.
No,
Is that correct? Just the first floor.
Just first floor.
Just the first
So
floor.
it's
Okay.
sort of like open, so
Got
it's
it.
like covered parking.
Got
It's
it.
just going to have some screening along the sidewalk, so it's not like looking at a parking lot.
Correct. And then the opposite, the north one, would actually have the retail down at that bottom
Correct.
portion. Got it.
What I don't like, you're saying you're doing the one required. And I often ask when there's a birthday party, a funeral, or Christmas, and, I am really kind of stunned that you would say just 2 per household or 1 per household. I'm not sure how you figure that into a project like that, because people are gonna come to this particular building. So I'm not clear how that's working. You could say that this is the code, and but I don't think you're thinking outside the box in that neighborhood. When I've been over to Thousand Oaks, and I mean, it's horrible parking over there. So if this is going to be like, well, maybe you don't know I know what Mr. Gentile knows, Thousand Oaks and these gated communities.
This is, of course, not that intense as over there. And as Emily indicated, that the FAR is almost in half of what is allowed on this site. So we've reduced the intensity of the project here to make this a viable, really neighborhood livable area. And it's close enough to be walkable to a lot of things, particularly on Broadway and schools and Avenue E. We're already seeing interest in Avenue E north of here for some of the older pieces of property and vacant, where people are seeing this happening and now are interested in buying and continuing to create that whole corridor of Avenue E all the way up to Blue Heron Boulevard. We're looking at doing some concepts right now in 3 lots right now. So this has done a tremendous job for the city to get it stimulated, to get people active and building in this area. So
Is it going to be gated, a gated community?
no, it is not gated.
So it's going to be just
This is
open?
open for people to be able to walk and enjoy the area. We have a sculpture and open civic space at the north end of the project. That's open to the public to walk the area. We're hoping that Avenue E becomes that walkable Main Street through the west side of Broadway. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all.
Yes,
right.
just one thing, just to state what Mrs. Shepherd was saying also, and I think that's a very valuable point. As something as nice as it's going to be, especially with the retail and people living in the area, and like you say, are there going to be any road or street updates, or maybe a widening of the streets to where if there's a possibility so we can be able to have better parking, because like you said, if you have something this magnitude, it's going to be very, very nice, which is going to attract a lot of people.
You're absolutely, we do. We have on-street parking that's available to particularly go to the retail office
Right.
spaces as well. And we're also adding sidewalks, which are not there now as well.
Nice. So how many parking spaces could you estimate that you may have for the retail area?
Retail parking. Yeah, it's 3,200 square feet. I think we have about 10 spaces for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. On-street parking.
Okay.
Okay. And that retail office space will also generate people walking or coming down from their units and going to those businesses as well. So, okay. Yeah.
We just want to make sure you'll be able to hold all the people you're going to be bringing in, and for the entertainment value, you know, like I said, just for safety reasons also, to be able to have it there. So like I said, we just want to make sure that, you know, it's safe for the community also, and also for the cars, trucks driving by or whatever. So we just want to make sure it's safe also. So
Yes.
that's why we were inquiring about
It's all
that.
being updated. Landscape is going to be done very nicely for this area, which is, you know, not there now because it's vacant. Okay.
Mrs. Joseph?
Thank you for the presentation. As we know, there's a lot of projects that are coming to that area. Adjacent to this site is going to be that other project that's bringing in, 500 units? So we can only imagine how much traffic, because that other project said, you know, they presented that that's going to be the main entrance into that project. So now we're getting ready to add additional units here. So again, I stressed this in the last meeting. We have to be mindful about the projects that we're bringing in and the impact that it's going to have on our existing infrastructure, in addition to the pedestrians that are going to be walking and the amount of traffic that is really going to be coming through those areas and the safety. So as developers, as architects, just, you know, if there's things that we can be incorporating, whether it's speed bumps or, you know, traffic calming measures, because there's going to be a lot of traffic coming through that corridor now. So just something to keep in mind. And this question may be for the CRA. I know in the staff report you mentioned that it's going to be an affordable housing project. Can you speak to the AMI range that we're proposing for this project? Or someone, please. If that information is available.
Typically, if I may, Ms. Joseph, for affordable, the AMI is somewhere in the neighborhood of 120% of the AMI to about 140, somewhere in 120 and below. I'm sorry, 120 and below.
Because those are workforce. Because typically affordable would be 80 and below or 60.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. I can tell you this, that, you know, if this is approved, if this is recommended approval by you all and approved by the city council, we will monitor that, and also some of their funding, I believe, is based upon that AMI, because they are marking 27 of those units for affordable. And I needn't tell you, there's a need for affordable here.
No, I understand that. It's just, that's just good information to have as a board, just knowing what population we're targeting.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to add that our code does have a definition for affordable housing that is at or below 80% of the AMI.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
you know,
Incorrect. Thank you,
I
sir.
always ask, what is AMI? Area median income. Thank you. I don't know your code, so I have to ask. Sorry. And then my last question is for Mr. Gonzalez as the architect. Could you just kind of speak to the design as far as kind of why you decided this layout versus, you know, doing a parking garage? And, you know,
Well,
service
thank you for the question. As George mentioned, we wanted to keep the scale small. You know, there are a lot of very large projects coming into the CRA. As the director mentioned, there's a lot coming to Riviera Beach. In fact, I think it's going to be the most exciting downtown in South Florida, because talking to Frank about that too, that the city, does that mean?
Getting up to Amber Alert.
Oh.
Amber Alert.
Even outside.
Oh, Martin County. Child abduction. All right, so I lost my thought, but anyways, we really wanted to transition the scale from a neighborhood that isn't changed without going to very large buildings on that site. We were inspired by the history of Riviera Beach, you know, the conch settlers, the Caribbean. So very early in the design process, we came up with the bright colors, the Caribbean architecture, as you can see, the detailing. So it wouldn't just be a white box, you know, type of thing that happens too often nowadays. I do a lot of historic projects in Florida, and I love to design my projects inspired by history. So that's what we were shooting for. And also, I think Avenue E, you know, we do a lot of new urbanism too. And Broadway is obviously the main thoroughfare through Riviera Beach, right? Broadway and Blue Heron. But Avenue E has a great opportunity, really great opportunity to become a real main street. And I'm hoping, starting here at the south with other projects, George is working on other projects, and hopefully we'll work on other projects too. There's this great opportunity to become a very walkable street. And the bicycle, as mentioned by Emily, you know, not everybody, you know, a lot of our new projects are being designed for, you know, with an Uber stop, with bicycles, you know, to get people multimodal, right? To think outside of the cars, not having to be tied up with you know, cars are expensive to maintain, right? And so if we're really trying to make it affordable and, you know, for more people, right? There's a huge need. I think I heard there's 20,000 units that we need in Palm Beach County. And I'm sure thousands here in Riviera Beach. So these are only 45 units, but we hope that they'll make an impact for this area of town and for the rest of Avenue E in the future.
And then how many, last question, Chair. How many commercial spaces?
There are 3 commercial spaces. There's hopefully there's a little corner one on the north overlooking the little plaza with the pavilion. Hopefully that'll become a little coffee shop or a cafe. And then there's 2 more that could become, as Emily mentioned, could be an office. Someone that lives upstairs wants to have an office downstairs, or a small retail space, you know, would be kind of nice, you know, that this first project has 3 retail spaces.
Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fernandez.
I got a couple of questions. I know the parking's been an issue. We brought it up, not just in this development, other development. You're going to have 3 retail spaces. If each space has 2 employees, that's 6. You only have 10 parking spots assigned. So that leaves you 4 parking spots for them. Then you have 2-bedroom, 1 and 2-bedroom units. Usually you have two vehicles per household, and you're only offering 1 parking. I do not know if anything can be done with the parking at this late stage of the game, but I'm just laying it out there for future plans. If you have anything else, parking is a major issue here, especially with the roadways. Now, Mr. Sermons, in the past, as you well know, this Planning and Zoning Board has included a condition on development that 6 months after the CO, you know, your department is provided with a list of individuals, not by name, but just an idea of how many Riviera Beach residents that were hired, how many local vendors were hired, and how many providers. We have a lot of plumbing supplies locations in Riviera Beach, electrical supply houses, building construction. Was that added to this project, the language as part of a condition?
No, it has not been added to this point, as it is somewhat outside of the land development scope. However, as done previously, if this board wants to recommend that language and the applicant agrees to it, we can read it to the record and ensure that it's included as it moves forward.
Based on the conversations in the presentation from Mrs. Stafford, Mr. Gonzalez, Emily, and Ms. Gentile, they've all agreed to making sure that they hire local. So I'm sure they'll have no problem. Can you please read that text for them? And if they agree, add it as part of the condition?
Not a problem. The previously used language reads as follows. The applicant shall actively advertise employment opportunities for temporary and permanent positions within the city of Riviera Beach, including participation at community job fairs and/or hosting specialized recruitment events. The developer shall provide a report to the Development Services Department at 6 months post certificate of occupancy, documenting the outreach efforts to acquire local employees, the number of local employees hired, and the number of local businesses contracted with, subject to employment and privacy laws, and the percentage of construction costs expended with local vendors.
You went up.
Well, while he's doing that, yeah, because phase one, we're already doing that in phase one.
I know that, but we've got to make sure it's part of the condition because it wasn't
Yeah,
added
that's
to the
fine.
language. I didn't notice it on the language, so just
Yeah.
making sure.
Yes, it's acceptable
We
by
got,
the applicant.
you got to realize that we are Riviera Beach and
Yeah.
we have developers coming in. And I want to make sure that this board wants to make sure that our citizens and our vendors and our suppliers, because then they employ additional Riviera Beach residents for their locations. So it's just, I want to make sure that our citizens here get their money's worth. Now, Ms. Emily also brought up the fact, are you guys doing any infrastructure improvements at all? We have out, as you well know, sir, we have outdated sewer, drainage, water mains in this whole city, and that we're working little by little.
Yes.
But if we have developers that are developing, if we can ask them to contribute to some of the infrastructure in the area they're developing, it's less cost on the citizens of Riviera Beach. Can you?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you. Janelle Merzos again, Executive Director, Riviera Beach CRA. I believe in 2019, I believe there was a master plan. This master plan dedicated specifically to Avenue E and the infrastructure projects throughout Avenue E, throughout the CRA. This master plan involved infrastructure improvements along with some drainage improvements, things of that nature. If it is the will of the board, of course, yes, we would welcome the opportunity to invite those developers to dedicate funds for the improvement of the Avenue E corridor. We are in the middle, along the CRA, along with Development Services. We are in talks with the city manager, of course, on how we would better improve that Avenue E corridor in preparation for the upcoming projects. Because as I've heard before, not only is Villa Lawns coming, but we also have a plethora of projects to the north, to the south, and the east and the west. So yes, we have that project. So we're in preparation mode for those right now as we speak.
Right, but as I mentioned to the previous developer that's developing that massive project across the way, they agreed on site to also enhance the infrastructure on Avenue E. So what I'm asking for is, if with the CRA's input, if we have developers working within the CI district, let's use some of the developers to build the infrastructure and not the citizens. Why? We have a massive amount of money that's going to be coming up for the new water plant.
Yes.
Okay, the figures are outrageous. Okay, we got our citizens going to be hit with a 30 to 35% water and sewer hike coming up. So if we could start spreading some of this wonderful expenditures amongst our developers who are making money, they're not losing money, then I would, myself and this board, I'm sure would greatly appreciate the CRA and making sure those developers and our united, Mr. Sermon's group are unified, also ensuring that when they got development projects coming in, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to handle it, and obviously amenable to the goals and objectives that we have. But let's just start spreading some of the expenditures around.
Absolutely. And at our July CRA meeting, we did welcome, we did present an item where we talked about community benefits. And those community benefits were largely around developers and what they would bring to the table as far as not only development, but also additional when it comes to infrastructure improvements throughout the city. So we do welcome that conversation with the city. We, of course, are looking for the city to lead in that conversation, and CRA, of course, will follow. But yes, we are open to that
We
conversation.
definitely need it. We need to start sharing the expenditures. The city cannot afford it. So this is a great way, and I brought this up before. This is not the first development I brought this up. You're coming in to our city, you're building in the area. Let's improve the infrastructure around your area. So maybe you can coordinate with the other developer who agreed to infrastructure improvement at Avenue East so we don't duplicate and we can figure out what can be done. Now, while I have you on there.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, sir.
To add on to that point, the city council did approve new utility connection rates with that exact aim to expand the cost sharing as it relates to our utility system and the infrastructure. So water and wastewater connection fees have been implemented aside from the previously existing impact fees, which every project pays into, but utility connection fees have also been added. This is a per unit fee that is going towards our infrastructure needs in the city. So I just wanted to make sure the board was aware of that as well. And that was recently passed.
You
in
are
the past
correct,
few
but in
months.
addition to the impact fee, some of the developers were willing to add infrastructure improvements because it benefited their development. Now, on far as the tax ratables, I keep hearing about all the tax ratables that this is going to bring in. Within a CRA district, who gets the tax ratable? The CRA or the city?
The CRA receives the tax surcharges from the county, along with the charges from the city as well within that district.
So in other words, the taxes that are going to be produced by these developments in the CRA, that money goes to the CRA?
Correct.
So it doesn't go to improvements in any other part of the city?
Because it's in the CRA district, it would not, no.
Okay.
But again, I know exactly where you're going with that. We are amenable to discussing that portion with the city in terms of any type of benefits of improvements or infrastructure. We are totally, we welcome that conversation.
No,
Absolutely.
I know that this is one of the main things that we've been pressing on. And again, I love the city to death. I love its citizens, but not everybody can afford the major hikes that are coming down the pike. So if I can spread the wealth a little bit, I am sure our citizens would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And if the CRA, with all the properties that we're improving, with all the tax variables that can come in, if they can throw in a couple of dollars, I know one of the last meetings you were present, one of the residents on Australian Avenue was complaining the street lights are out.
Yes.
This is out. It's not working there. We would like to spread the wealth around a little bit. I know you have your expenses, but we are having a lot of tax ratables coming into the CRA district. So we definitely have to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
That's it on the egress. I know the other property owner, sir, of the 400, I lost track of how many units that was. They're going to be using 13th Street, which is the only traffic light in that whole area,
Right.
Because it's going to be a traffic nightmare. And I even suggested the developers to see if they can get with other developers in the area to see, because the marina is going to be built up. There's no way to walk if you're a pedestrian from 11th Street across Broadway. So they got to walk I was asking them, what about getting together between all the developers, it's cost effective, and building a walkway
Right.
over Broadway. We've done it in major cities and throughout Florida. We've done it. If other cities can do it, we can do it. And if you combine the developers together, then we can just build a walkway. Nobody's going to want to walk from 11th Street to the traffic light on 13th Street and then cross over on 13th Street. And when we build with that area up with the Marina Village, your project, the project next door, could you imagine what traffic is going to be on Broadway? It's going to be like darting traffic as pedestrians. And that's a safety concern that I have for the residents that are coming in. So maybe between the CRA and the developers, just take a look at what it will cost to build a walkway. It should be very cost effective, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. And especially at that location, it could also serve as a gateway, so you have an opportunity of, you've arrived, sense of arrival to Riviera Beach once you go over the bridge. And I know in years past, having worked in the Marina Village, there had been talk about that, but that's something that we'll explore. I also wanted to go back to the expenses of the site and off-site development ideas. So there's going to be new lighting. All of it's going to be underground. FP&L, I think we're one of the first projects to do that. right? Because of hurricanes, everybody's doing that now, Palm Beach and other cities. So all of it underground, all of the utilities, drainage, all the new piping, everything is going to be brand new. If when you drive by that property, it's a raw piece of land with a raw alley. So it's all going to be improved, and including on the street portion, additional on-street parking and the sidewalk. So it's going to be quite an improvement, not just on the property, but in the adjacent area next to the property.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chair, once we're finished, can we go back to the text amendment so we can discuss
Just
the
again.
language?
Got it. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
We're gonna start with more questions on the other side with my other colleagues. We'll start off with Mr. Gallen.
I have one question. Is there any way that you all are going to make sure that we have families purchase these townhomes and not investors?
Fine.
True.
I know phase one, right? Phase one, it's already 400 in the 400 range. The units are, the 2 bedrooms and the 2 stories are in the $400,000 range. And yes, it has to be by people that have to live there. I think the minimum was 10 years, right? So there's a 10-year requirement that you have to live in the building. You just can't buy a whole bunch of them. You can only buy one. And you have to, comply with the medium income requirements, as was mentioned by Kurt. And so there's a lot of mechanisms in place to make sure that no one comes in there and buys 6 units, which happens in condominium buildings, so, and that's never a good thing, so yes, there are some controls. Yes, and you have to qualify, fill out paperwork to qualify for the affordable units.
I'm good, Chair.
Mr. Chair, but who
Yes,
has $400,000 in that area? Where are we coming? Or where are we going? I'm just asking. 400,000 in that area. I'm just asking. I'm confused.
That's a steal nowadays.
Boy, really?
It is, yeah. Just right over in Morrow Heights, houses going for more than $400,000 now. Single family homes.
$400,000.
Or more. Or more.
Wow.
Yeah, prices are,
Well,
yeah.
well, I'll never make it, Ezra.
Yeah, and then you one block from in the coast of there, so that's a steal at four plus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Mr. Gallen, are you done? Mr. Gallen, you have another question?
That was my main question. I'm done.
All right. And Mr. Brown.
Yes. This seems like it would be a really nice development. I'm sure with Mr. Mr. Gonzalez and 2GHO, I mean, they have a record of producing some nice developments. My question, though, is in the abandonment, the owner to the north of the property, do they have any objections to the present abandonment? And do they actually have a say?
The property owner to the north,
On 12th Street.
across 13th?
I think the same person owns both pieces to the north
Oh,
and to the north,
The west.
northwest.
With what's presented for you to vote on or not vote, to recommend today, no, they do not have a problem. They are not part of any abandonment. We have not made any impact on their land.
That's it, thanks.
And someone is, Jonathan is here representing them if you would like to speak to them.
Who's
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Jonathan? Who's Jonathan?
Would you like, would you like to have him come up and introduce himself? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, hi. For the record, Jonathan Lisnoff. I'm the representative on behalf of the property owner, Garrett Enterprises. We have no issue with, we actually love the project, first of all. Have no issue with the current abandonment. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And any other questions by the board?
Mr. Chair, if I can go back to Mr. Satfo, since he's the builder um, of these projects, are you building one and phase two?
That's the plan. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you're gonna be very busy.
Yep, that's why this is a priority. My team are dedicated to this project and the community of Riviera Beach.
So you build phase one, and after that, how long will it take you start on phase two?
Well, consecutive on just keep it moving. Keep it moving. Yeah, hopefully there's no gap. I think there's some even some talks now based on site plan approval, getting some of the infrastructure going for the next phase. You know, while we're there, you might as well think about where we're going with some of the underground utilities.
And well, I ask you that because it's gonna be very busy in that area. I don't know if they'll start around with you with the Alpha Group, which I think their project is a little bit bigger than yours. So that area, I don't know if it will impact the residents.
I'm not sure about the other project. Have they went the CDs yet?
Well, they just came before this board last week, so.
It's such a larger project, and typically they need to do their construction documents, which is going to take several months because they wouldn't have done it unless they knew they had approval. Okay, and so
Well, they still have to go before council. I think
yes,
they just-
and they probably won't start those CDs until they get through that whole process to make sure that what's approved they can do the construction documentation on for. So
I just want to make sure
Yeah,
that the projects don't collide. And then what I'm thinking about is the Boys and Girls Club. It will impact them
Mhm.
with all the dust and the dirt and, and the traffic, because it's going to be heavy traffic. The excavators and all that coming through the city. I'm just thinking outside the box.
Yep.
So,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. He's an adjacent property owner.
Mhm.
Are you going to be doing any kind of development in the next couple of years there?
No idea.
Well, I mean, we're prepared to, any neighboring properties such as his lease for parking or lay down area, pay for any extra,
That's what I was gonna
area
ask.
that needs. So we're prepared to do whatever it takes to minimize any impact to the local residents and not, be interference with the other property. We also have the backside, the west side of our property, which is Wright Street, that we can, shift some of our activity on as well. So not to interfere with much of E Avenue as much as possible. Because right now we only use it as an entryway right now.
yes, I see. But the heavy equipment that you will be bringing in, I think will break down some of the infrastructure with the heavy equipment. And I think that's what they were talking about, the infrastructure. Are you going to repair the infrastructure, or are you just going?
That's a good question, Ms. Shepard. As a matter of fact, our Mr. Bailey, the engineer, has already brought up some of those concerns and was even talking about going ahead and coordinating with our team on preemptively addressing some of those older infrastructure issues, pipings and such.
Yes, because that project is older than,
Mhm.
and I don't think it's been an upgrade over there, not at all. So you're coming with all your equipment because this is a big project,
Mhm.
and you're going to have to park your equipment on the property or somebody's property, I assume. And then I'm thinking about the people that's going to be affected. They will be affected, because I'm over there with Safe Harbor now, and I'm affected by their project. The dust, the dirt is coming way over there with me. It's a big project, and we could say, oh, we're going to make it very light. It's not a such thing as being very light. Once you start digging, once you start building all that dust and dirt, the infrastructure over there now is horrible. So I'm just thinking that I hope it does not affect that neighborhood with the infrastructure already bad. You can't tell me it's not bad.
Well, we have a phenomenal pollution plan and preemptive with any kind of safety and dust control. We've already put some things in place on that, and we're going to continue that, making sure that we don't have any impact to the neighbors.
Thank you so much. I just want to ask you that.
All right.
Thank you,
for
Mr.
having me.
Chair.
Yes, and thank you again, Mr. Sappho, because that was my next question coming up was stating that was there some local property owners that will possibly lease out a certain area which would be beneficial to them if it's an empty lot, and also use that, I guess, cement it off or block it off or even rent out parking spaces or whatever like that becomes beneficial to the owner of that lot, and then also beneficial to you for parking. So that was a great idea. So that was something, Mr. Sappho, good idea to bring that up and be able to hopefully accomplish that and make it a lot easier, because it will be a lot of traffic in that area. Like Mrs. Joseph said, there's going to be a lot of traffic in that area. And City of Riviera Beach, we need the progress, and I want to see the city grow the way it is growing. But with that, we're still going to need parking, and we're going to need a lot of other things also. Instead, what Mr. Fernandez stated was the best thing. It's going to get expensive here.
Mhm.
And we're going to have to make sure that the people that are here, that are already here, will still be able to afford to live here. And then, of course, we want to bring in more people to bring in more income. So again, thank you. Mr. Gallen, were you done with your questions? And also, Mr. Brown?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right. Are there any other questions by the board?
Not on this, we just gotta go back to the text.
Okay, so how do we do that with Mr. Sermon?
We only discussed the input that I had on the text amendment. Mr. Sermon's also included the language that we could limit it geographically, which we've done in the past. This is a great project. Vacant land has been there forever, but other sections of our DG are not.
Right.
So the language that we used the last time to just limit it to that development, that area for the 4 stories, can we incorporate it into this for the text amendment?
So the previous project that was before you was the Alpha Merit Judge Rogers site project. They had a text amendment related to height. Their text amendment limited that additional height allowance to properties only west of Avenue E, if I remember correctly. And that was a way that they limited the potential impacts of that to a certain area. With this particular zoning district, it is found essentially all along Avenue E from 11th Street, where this project starts, all the way north to just about Silver Beach Road. There's a lot more properties that are in downtown General, and some of them are adjacent to single family homes. So this was a tough thing to kind of limit geographically, and it's something I've been looking at since the comment was made earlier. Some options could be limiting it to only, instead of just or instead of mixed use, it could be projects that allow affordable housing, or a project has to do both, so it is more difficult to get the additional height. And it'd be one of the things where if you provide a public good such as affordable housing, then you can get the additional floor. That is one way that it could be reduced in scope as to what cases it could be used. But there is not a clear-cut geographic way to isolate this text amendment like the previous one.
What about doing an exemption for this particular development?
I don't know of and I'm going to start to look at legal. I don't know of a way where we can amend the code for a specific project, because it is written for all of the projects.
Binded by street between 11th and 12th Street, or, just geographically square off that area without, because I know what the attorney was jumping up, so I'm trying to limit and help her get into a nicer area, which is the 11th to 12th Street Avenue E language. Again, I'm not sure how the board feels about it, but I'm sure Ms. Shepherd would not want 4-story buildings surrounding your neighborhood area or anyone else. Because you know how they complain about traffic every time they come up here, Ms. Shepherd.
Yeah.
And
Flooding, but
an additional consideration could be adjacency to single-family homes that could be written into it, that 4 floors are allowed if the project is mixed use and affordable and not adjacent to single-family homes.
that would be a good, that would be something that would be beneficial.
And in that instance, from me skimming our city maps, that would primarily keep it on the east side of Avenue E, where most of those general commercial districts abut commercial and downtown core zoning districts, which are more intense, whereas on the west side of Avenue E, this district does, but against many single-family homes. So that's another consideration of how this could be amended to limit the scope of it.
So what would you suggest if we limited, like exactly like you stated, with all those caveats, adding the not near the single-family homes? How can we word it so we can add it to the text amendment change, which will benefit the developer, but not hinder or hurt anybody else who has a single family, and now all of a sudden somebody wants to build 4 stories all along a DG area behind their house or in front of the house or next to the house? You just gave some great examples of the language.
It could, I'm trying to pull up the text myself so I can read it in a way that is irrespective of the fact that we need to get it on the record. To allow properties within the downtown general zoning district to develop to a maximum height of 4 stories when the project contains a mixed-use component is where the text ends now. Is there interest in adding affordable housing to that, or do we want to focus on the geographic?
We can add
area?
affordable housing and the single family. With a mix of affordable housing, not adjacent to single family, and you can, adjacent, that's a word that could be interpreted a million ways. Just, we can limit it. If you want to put fit in there, or 200 feet, 150 feet, whatever, however you want to word it, or if it's enough with the attorneys to just adjacent to a single family residence, that would suffice, and that would have.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
If it's the pleasure of the board to recommend these amendments to the proposed text amendment, you could direct staff to present a revised version to City Council that incorporates your direction as far as mixed use affordable housing and not adjacent. That might be a little bit, grant more leeway so that we're not continuing to draft here.
Correct. Well, remember, we're an advisory board, so whatever we advise, I would love to have that added with the pleasure of the board when we get there. Add that condition and send it to the city with an explanation as to the reason why we're asking.
I'm sorry, was that a question for your fellow board members or staff?
We're taking the input of our attorney, which is the same thing we were just discussing.
Correct.
So we would like to add that language to the text, recommend that language to the text amendment, and then we'll vote on it that way.
Yes, so staff has taken notes of those, and should it be the pleasure of the board, we'll include that in your approval conditions and present an amended text amendment to City Council when it gets to that point. I'm assuming the applicant has no issue with us amending their text amendment so long as it doesn't prohibit their project from moving forward. So unless they say differently, we'll work on that with them between now and City Council if this board votes for that amended condition.
And since this is the second time we've had such issues with text amendments that will incorporate the entire Riviera Beach in the future, if we have a text amendment that would include zoning within the entire Riviera Beach, could we also incorporate some of that language? Like we had that problem with the with another development that we were going to do a text amendment in one section of the city that would have affected the entire city. So
Yes.
in the future, just for your division's input, so we can discuss it.
I do want to make sure to just remind that the downtown general area is a limited area. This focuses on the downtown area. So it's not so much citywide as much as it is affecting the downtown area.
Right, but the other one was not downtown area. It was affecting the city on another different text amendment that they wanted for their property. It was on North Ocean Drive, if you recall, Mr. Sermons. And it was a different zoning area as well, but they wanted a text amendment, narrowing the size of the lot, okay, less space. And with that language, any other developer could have came in, they get to build more on less space. So that's what I was talking about.
Hey, that's fine. It's just that when we get to that point, I want to make sure we get this wording down right so that, there's no question.
Go, you guys can work on it, so you can make the big bucks.
Oh, yeah. They
Understood.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
you got Ms. Suarez right there, brand new employee. It's Mr. Gentile.
We will agree to work with them on that language as well and
Thank
help
you.
them with it.
Great project. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chair, I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great questions by the board.
Mr. Chairman, I have
Yes.
one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
To Ezra Sefo. I guess I'm asking him because he's the developer. With the Boys and Girls Club there and the children running around, you're going to make sure that you put up some type of barrier to protect. How are you going to work that out? Because I'm more worried about the children than anything.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm gonna let you know I was a Boys and Girls Club board member in my past life, so I'm very conscious about what goes on over there and the kids and how important it is to keep them safe. I'll tell you that our number one function is safety. That's first on how we plan and do anything. Next is just making sure that we are good stewards of the community. So we're going to actually go over to some of the management over there at the Boys and Girls Club and form a bond with them. Let them see what we're doing and see how we can be attached at the hip on making sure that we don't impact anything that's going on over there.
I'm just going to hold you to the fire if I go over there and not see anything, because my cousin Clara was one of the founding members of the Boys and Girls Club. She was very protective of the Boys and Girls Club. So I think I have inherited that from her, trying to be protective to the senior citizens and to the children. So I just want to make sure that they're safe because they have a lot of allergies over there. And so I don't want the dust and, if you can protect it some kind of way.
We will.
I thank you for that, Mr. Sefo.
And thank you for holding me accountable for the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great job, sir.
All right, Mrs. Joseph.
All right, last question. So the main entrance into phase 1 and 2 are off of Avenue E and Wright Street, or just Avenue E? Or the entrances into the project site, is it Avenue E mainly, or is it both Avenue E and Wright?
Both,
Both?
yes. And 11th, it's in front of it, but all the parking for the garages goes between both of the north-south streets,
Okay.
right, and Avenue E. And getting into the parking lot, quote unquote, comes from both sides.
You will see, Ms. Joseph, on the east side, between the residential retail use and the residential area to the south is Avenue E. And then on the west side of the property, down there at the lower left corner, you have an entrance into the parking area from Wright Street. Okay, so as Ms. Mahoney says, it's both areas, and to answer your question, I would believe the main entrance would be off Avenue E.
And again, traffic calming measures, because that butts up, and I'm gonna leave it at this. It butts up against that Boys and Girls Club, so if that is also going to be a main entrance into the site. A lot of bodies, a lot of people, cars, kids, just something to be mindful of. Thank you, Chair.
There's, Mr. Chair, one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a house that sits right there, Ezra. Right there, right in front of the Boys and Girls, there's a house there. Now, you all gonna be coming into that street where that house is at. It was just built maybe about 10, 12 years ago. Have you addressed that?
Charles.
It's a house right in front of the Boys and Girls Club. The house is here, the Boys and Girls Club is right here.
North or?
It's going, yes. It's going,
So if I'm on 13th.
no, you're coming into where you're building it right now.
Okay, on Wright Street.
Yes, there's a house right, it's not but one house there.
Oh, it's a duplex there.
Yes.
All right.
So what are you gonna do about that? 'Cause
Well,
the dust and the dirt is gonna get on that property with them.
besides notification and being very mindful of them, I mean, if we dirty it up with dust, you know, it's no problem for us to get pressure cleaner and offer pressure cleaning and mitigating any kind of issues she may have. That's nothing for us to do.
I would just see children over there playing
Mhm.
ball. Well,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just mindful of the children there or the adults that's there, how they're gonna be affected because this is gonna be a huge project.
Yeah, our construction entrance is right there in front of our house.
Yeah.
I've spoken, but thank you for reminding me to be more conscientious about it. So I'll go over there in the next couple of days and just make sure she's good along the way. And if she has any issues, she definitely can reach out to our team and we'll address any of her concerns.
Because
All right.
you know, if not, they're coming to the city council meeting and they're going to vent. So
Yeah.
let's do something before
Okay.
they come and vent because they will vent. That's
Yeah.
their property. That
All
they're-
right. Well, I'm glad you told me about it because I didn't think that deeply about it, but I will now.
Yes, well, I passed by there today and then I came back and I looked again. And I want to make sure they're safe, their property is well taken care of while you are building because it's going to be a big project. So
All right.
thank you for your concern.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I think I'm through.
You think it through?
I think I'm through.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
when we're gonna vote on this, 7A was already read into the record for Ms.
Right.
Brown, so let's just do
Right.
one step at a time.
Right.
After we're done with 7A, Ms. Brown will read in 7B.
Right.
We'll vote on that.
Separately.
And then she'll read into
Absolutely.
the record 7C, and then we'll vote on that, sir.
All right, yeah, I was gonna ask them that because they all have to be done separately. So in this situation, can we go ahead and, I guess, go to a vote? Or is there a motion for 7A?
I'm gonna motion amending the city code of ordinance, chapter 31, ZA 240008. That is the text amendment with the conditions or recommendations that we provided Mr. Sermons, who will work with his team, which the developers agreed to. Is there a second?
I second it.
The motion has been moved and second. Mr. Chair, are you ready for the vote?
Yes.
Board Member Lucy Joseph? Yes. Board Member Anthony Brown?
Yes.
Board Member Mark Shepherd?
Yes.
Board Member Frank Fernandez?
Yes.
Board Member William Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have that motion passed unanimously.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to 7B, and I guess we read that into the record.
Here's your agenda item 7B. An ordinance of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, the Riviera Beach Community Development Corporation, RBCDC, and the Riviera Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, applicant AB 24001, to abandon an existing 15-feet alley, approximately 8,007.
Excuse me for a minute, my friend. We need to amend that square footage to be approximately 4,566 square feet. Okay,
Like 4,500 and
66 square feet. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we get that down right.
Okay.
If I may go ahead and finish this off, that's essentially what this would mean, in that the 3,066 square feet, which was the parcel at the top right-hand corner, that was a 42 by 73 foot abandonment. And then the second part is 1,500 square feet, which is 15 by 100 foot area that you saw in the overhead that was presented. So,
Mr. Conti, you
So
can
this-
just complete after applicant AB 24001 to abandon existing 15-foot alley, and then approximately, and then add the 4566 square feet there, and then continue on.
yes, sir. Yeah.
What was the number?
Instead of the 8705, it is exactly regarding the subject property located at the north portion of the subject site, a 42 by 73 foot wide area that involved the West 12th Street area. And then in addition to that, the second portion of the abandonment is an area 15 feet by 100 feet at the south end of the property, just north of phase 1.
I'm sorry, where are you reading from?
Right, I'm looking for that also.
Where are you reading from?
Too much information.
You have me confused. You're reading
Mis-
something that.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair?
Yes,
to,
sir.
For clarification purposes, what Mr. Thompson is communicating is that the discrepancy in the total square footage of the abandonment is not displayed correctly in the header. So Ms. Brown will reread the header with the correct number so that you can call the vote on the item.
Absolutely.
But again, he's just reiterating what he mentioned earlier in terms of the appropriate square footage of the abandonment area. We'll reread the entire header with the correct number so you can call the vote.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't mean to confuse the situation. It's just the square footage, Ms. Shepherd.
No,
That's
no.
it.
Yeah,
Everything else is the
I just
same.
want to write it down now and get it straight. That's all.
That's it. Everything else is the same, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Agenda item 7B, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, the Riviera Beach Community Development Corporation, RBCDC, and the Riviera Beach Community Development Agency, CRA, applicant AB-24001, to abandon an existing 15 feet alley approximately 4,566 square feet that bisects the properties located at 1116 Wright Street, 1117 Avenue E, 1129 Avenue E, and 1141 Avenue E, and to abandon the approximately 30 feet portion of West 12th Street right-of-way that dead ends within the project site, providing for applicability, conflict, severability, and codification, and providing for an effective date.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
No, we, applicant AB 24001.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, was that a question for staff?
No, I was stating, do we have a motion
No,
for
we
it?
have to just somebody motion, applicant AB 24001.
Second.
Larry.
It's been properly moved in second. Are you ready for the vote, Mr. Chairperson?
Yes, ma'am.
Board Member Lucy Joseph,
Yes.
Board Member Anthony Brown,
Yes.
Board Member Margaret Shepherd,
Yes.
Board Member Frank Fernandez,
Yes.
Board Member William Wiley.
Yes.
Sir, the vote passed unanimously.
All right, so let's move on to 7C and have that read in and up for approval.
Agenda item 7C, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, approving a site plan request SP-240015 on behalf of the Riviera Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, to allow for a mixed-use development consisting of residential, retail, and office into two separate buildings. More specifically, the proposed project will provide 45 residential units, 27 will be marked as affordable, and 3,224 square feet of retail office space. This project application also includes a request for an administrative waiver to reduce required parking as allowed by Section 31-539B3, providing for conditions of approval, providing for applicability, conflict, severability, and codification, and providing for an effective date and for other purposes.
Sure, before we motion on that, we need to add the additions and conditions, correct, Mr. Sermons, to that were previously approved by the developer?
That's correct. We are of the understanding that your recommendation will be that the discussed condition language is added.
Correct. Plus, I believe Mrs. Thompson had 9 up there, 9 conditions.
10.
10.
10.
Okay.
What do we have a motion for?
Chair, I motion to approve the site plan request SP 240015 as read into the record, with the conditions also read into the record, amenable to the developers as well.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Mr. Chair, are you ready for the vote?
Yes.
Board Member Lucy Joseph, Board Member Anthony Brown,
Yes.
Board Member Margaret Shepherd,
Yes.
Board Member Frank Fernandez,
Yes.
Board Member William Wiley.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, that vote passed unanimously.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
And thank you for investing in our community.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And remember, we know where you live. It's not a coercion, it's just an encouragement words for our attorney.
Mr. Gentile, it was so good to see you again as always.
And I was a patrol when I was 12 years old on the corner of 13th and Broadway.
Yes, sir.
Riviera Beach Elementary School.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gentile.
All right, on to number 8, workshop items.
None from staff, Mr. Chair.
All right, so number 9, do we have any public comments?
None.
On to number 10, general discussion. Any staff updates?
Mr. Chair, only that the previously requested items that the board has requested, we are still on track to present those to you at next month's Planning and Zoning Board meeting, including the employment reports and anti-gentrification research.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I thought you said we're suspended until further notice. Did what? Oh, I thought you said you're gonna submit.
Yeah, reappointments are put on hold right now for any reappointments or term renewals. I was speaking to the items that were requested to be researched and presented to this board of city staff.
So we're staying here until they make a decision?
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Nothing else from staff, Mr. Chair.
All right, any correspondence by the board?
Just a question.
Yes.
Mr. Sermon, does the city or has the city conducted any sort of transportation study in the last 10 years that you're aware of?
I would have to defer that question to the city engineer. I'm not
Okay.
positive on the answer to that one.
Okay. Could you pencil that in there? Find out, please.
Can we also get a introductory about a new planner?
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. To those who I haven't formally met, my name is Gabby Suarez, and I am Planner One.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome
so
to the
much.
city.
Thank you.
And the only reason why I'm asking that, again, with all the beautiful projects that are getting ready to come to our city, it would be
Right.
nice to kind of get a perspective of,
Mhm.
you know, with everything, get a big picture.
I know Sunit was working because we brought this up with her, because I sent her some information. City of West Palm is offering free little shuttles around town for the downtown area to get people back and forth.
Right.
So I know Sunit was looking into as part of our master plan, so comp plan. So maybe we can address it as a city for transportation.
I will make note of that. I believe the CRA was working on a kind of a circulator shuttle trolley type program.
They're working on that, but
we'll-
also other transportation needs we need on the buses. They were also working on the bus stops, you know, building up the little bus stops with, you know, little cover like
Shelters.
Palm Beach
Mhm.
Gardens did and everybody
Mhm.
else did. So our
Mhm.
folks don't have to wait there in the burning sun of the summer.
Yes, yes, that is something we are in the midst of implementing through the development process. And many of the projects that have come before you actually have a condition related to their obligation to construct bus shelters and any stops in front of their development. So we have a report that we can share on the success of that program so far as well.
Good question.
And I'm only speaking from experience, from, you know, what we're seeing to the north or excuse me, to the south of the impact of these projects coming into the city and the amount of traffic that residents are experiencing and, you know, the impact to the infrastructure and, you know, water's a lot slower now that these bigger projects are coming in. So it's just something to keep in mind as a city, you know, really start educating our residents, you know, making sure they're aware that these projects are coming online and what to expect for the next, you know, 10 plus years.
Okay, so let's go on. And just to clarify, are there any more correspondence by the board? I don't want to leave anyone out. Okay, so C, the next planning and zoning board meeting is planned for October 9th, 2025. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
All right. And on to number 11. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
At 8:40 p.m. second that motion.